Hello guys, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining today. Please, if you are new to the channel, the very first thing you should do for us is to press the subscribe button down here. It is found somewhere here. When you press the subscribe button, please make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell. There is a bell so that when I post the next video, it's going to make a sound. Ring! Then you would be able to watch the video. Thank you so much. So today's video, I want to talk about an eye-opener here, and it relates to proof of funds. Look guys, there is some techniques here, or let me say a game changer IRCC is trying to play. Okay, now if you are an international student and you are applying for a study visa, I'm going to talk about this game changer towards the end of the video. Before I continue with the video, if you are new to the channel, my name is Milton. Did I mention that to you before? Anyways, thank you so much. I'm the anointed village boy. If you want to apply for a study permit in Canada, the very first thing you should put into your mind is how much money do you have? How much do you have as proof of funds? All right, this is how it is called. Because without proper planning, if you do not have the money, you may not know what you need. Now, this is where I'm driving to. For you to apply to a college in Canada, the very first thing you need to know is if you actually have 10,000 Canadian dollars. 10,000 Canadian dollars, I do not know how much it is in equivalent to our currency, but this is the money the government of Canada wants you to show to them that you actually have. And the money, 10,000 Canadian dollars, is called living cost money. It is money you have to use to pay your accommodation, money for transportation, and of course petty things that you can do within Canada. That's the very first money. Now, if you want to study in Canada, remember you need a proof of funds. This proof of funds is going to be done by basically 3 people who are highly qualified. Okay, but there is something I think IRCC is doing, which I think I said I'm going to explain at the end of the video. Guys, remember, I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm just a travel YouTuber. I talk about study abroad opportunities and I share my info. I guide international students. That is all. If you need a one-on-one with me, book from the video description box or check my Facebook pages with the names Milton Fonkwa and Milton Fonkwa's Consulting. Thank you. So you basically need 3 people who can stand as your sponsors plus yourself. Therefore, I'm going to start with the most popular person or the most renowned person, which is yourself. If you want to study in Canada as an international student, you have to be your own sponsor. Okay, but remember, you are not just showing the bank statement. This is something I realized over the weekend. Someone booked an appointment and called me, and I noticed this and I want to draw your attention to it. You are not just showing the bank statement. No, it doesn't work that way. You are showing the bank statement and showing how you got that money into that bank account. That is point number 1. Do you have a business? As a student who wants to migrate to Canada, do you have a business? Are you working? If you have a business, if you are working, do you have pay slips from the company? Do you have your employment contract? Can your employer write a letter to prove that, oh yes, this person is working and was working with us and this is the salary the person was earning and will move to Canada for studies. After the program, this person will come back and take a position higher than this. If your employer is not able to write this letter, then the problem is, do you have pay slips? Can you show your employment contract? If yes, you are good to go. Now, in case you have a business, is the business registered? If yes, excellent. This is what you need. That is in the case you are the one sponsoring yourself. Now, let's go to your father. Your father can also be a sponsor, right? Yes, your father can be a sponsor. Your father can sponsor you to study in Canada. Now, your father needs to show his or her bank statement. Your father needs to write a sponsorship letter for you. Does your father work? If yes, where is he employed? He needs to show that document. Does he have pay slips? If yes, where is the document? If your father does not have maybe a job, if your father doesn't work but he has some money, right? If he doesn't have a bank account, he has some money, cash, he wants to give to you. Now, let him give you that money, then write a letter called a gift deed. Okay, then equally write a sponsorship letter. This is the case of your father. The same thing will apply to your mother. Now, you can sponsor yourself, your father can sponsor you, your mother can sponsor you. All right. Proof of funds, or to show proof that you want to study in Canada, is of different ways depending on their situation. Now, 3 people can sponsor you: yourself and your parents. Now, what about your siblings? Your siblings can equally sponsor you. Now, let's assume that your siblings have a company, right? Excellent. Is the company well registered? If yes, let them show all the documents for registration. Let's assume that your sibling is a worker. Where does he work? Does he have pay slips? Let him or her bring all these documents. Let's assume that your sibling does not work. He has the money and he wants to give you the money to put in your bank account, right? He does not have an account. Let him give you the money to put in your account, then write a gift deed to explain that this money he is giving to you as his brother. And remember, you need to show proof of relationship. Let him give you the money, then write the sponsorship letter, and equally write something called a gift deed. These documents have to be notarized. Please check this YouTube channel. You are going to find a lot of videos I did some time ago explaining to you how you can do this depending on your situation and the proof of funds. Remember, Canada is so they want to see that you have money. They don't want liabilities. They are already battling a lot of crises with refugees, so they don't want international students to come in again and cause too much issues on the economy. You understand? So you need to prove to them that you actually have the money to study in their country. Now, these are the people that can sponsor you. I know you want to ask, can a company sponsor me? Can my uncle sponsor me? Can my job sponsor me? Can my auntie sponsor me? Yes, these people can equally do these documents for you. Please check the other videos on proof of funds to study in Canada. But it is going to reduce your visa chances, the chances of you getting the visa approved, because they want to see that the person who is sponsoring you has a link, or maybe you are directly related to that person. In this case, if you are sending showing that your parents or your siblings, then you have to show this document, their birth certificate. You guys should have a name, a surname, or maybe a given name related. Yes, this is it. Now let me take an example of something that happened few days ago. But before I continue, those of you that are married, if you are already married, it will not be proper for your dad to sponsor you. Let them give you the money and write a gift deed letter for you. Of course, I'm not saying that you are not going to get your visa in case they give you their statements. I'm not saying so, no. In case they give you their statements, then they should be able to prove that. But like I said, to me, in my opinion, I would not like you to say you are married and your father is still sponsoring you. At least your father can give the money to your husband, okay? Let your husband transfer to his account. Then your husband will be the one now to start this process for you, to explain all this process. Or if your father is scared, because I know us, we are somehow skeptical, let your father give you the money you put in your account. Then your father should explain that this money is the money he gave you. He gave you the money to use for your academic, and he is not willing to take the money again. This way, I think it is very important. It is advantageous for you. You can do anyhow, and of course, he also needs to write a sponsorship letter. Then you get the other documents and attach. This is for proof of funds. I didn't say home ties. I haven't mentioned letter of explanation yet. This is for proof of funds. In the case, this is the thing I wanted to mention to you guys now. In the case you want to study in Canada, and you are sponsored by your siblings, please, again, this is a general information. Please make sure you have 10,000 Canadian dollars for living costs. Point number 1. Point number 2, make sure you have your tuition fee for the entire duration of your program. If your program is 10,000 Canadian dollars a year, make sure you have 20,000 Canadian dollars for your 2 years program in a diploma or in a college. If your program is 3 years, you don't have all the 3 years money, put for 2 years, then you are good to go. Then the issue now I wanted to talk about. Few days back, someone has applied for visas now 2 times and got rejected. The first one was insufficient funds, and now they are saying that he didn't show enough evidence that he was going to go to Canada and without working and go to school. That is to say, he didn't show enough evidence that even if he doesn't work in Canada, he will still pay his tuition fee. Do you know why it was done that way? Because it was her siblings, her sister, who did the affidavit of support for her. Let me tell you how it was done and why the embassy said that. They said that because they noticed that the sister is in the United States and the sister have a job and the sister is the one sponsoring her. So she was supposed to have her own extra account. In case the sister is not willing to send money to her, the sister can transfer the money to her. So her reasons for rejection was that they were not convinced that if she moves to Canada, she will be able to go to school without working. You understand? So this is directly telling you that her sister, and he didn't prove that he has money in her own. Sorry, it's a she. She didn't prove that she has money in her own account. I'm just clarifying this so that you understand. You see, you see where these things go to. All right, you see the differences. You understand? So basically, if you have a sponsor in the United States, especially your sister, they already know your sister has a family. So to be on the safe side, also have your own personal money in your own personal bank account. It doesn't matter if it's a gift deed or not, but just have your own money. Then another thing I want to say, for those of you, if you sell a plot of land, make sure you bump the money in your account at once, because it cannot be put like that. But if you have maybe 18 million, you sold your plot of land, put in your account, then make sure the papers show these particular figures. As papers you sign with the buyer, show the figure in your account and how it went to. I hope you understand. Then during your explanation, you explain to them on the letter of explanation that this is actually what you did, and you have attached documents to explain all of that. When you do this, you tell the visa officer that you actually know what you are doing. You are actually telling him that without the explanation, he won't know, and in this case, they might treat your file as quick as possible, and before you know, you grab the visa. So this is basically what you need to know. Please, if you are getting a sponsor and this sponsor is your sibling and not your father or mother or yourself, make sure you have your own money in your bank account. Then you have enough money in his or her account, plus his working documents, his documents to show that he's legal in USA, his documents to show that he has a legal job, his pay slips, and of course his address and all those details. They must be legal. The person must be legal before you even start thinking of doing anything with the person. I hope you understand. So this is the information I wanted to give you. Till we meet again,